Right, this is a good news story, and my goodness, do we need good news stories. Gillian Keegan, Education Secretary, is going to announce this afternoon that she wants to ban mobile phones in schools. Bushra, what's your take on this? You've got kids. Do they have mobile phones?
Yeah, I've got children and they've got mobile phones. I mean, to be honest, they're not actually allowed to use them during the classroom time or anything like that. But I think it's a brilliant idea, and I don't think that kids need to have mobile phones at school. So just. I mean, there is a side of it which, you know, children need to contact parents when they're leaving school, but essentially it's all about learning. We don't want them to have their focus taken away from what they're doing at school.
But you're right. People will watch this and going, well, what do you mean? Do they have their phones in the classroom at the moment, Emma? And, of course, some schools don't, but schools are finding it really hard. Without clear guidance from the Education Secretary on how to manage this, they've got the push and pull between, as Bushra says, parents saying, but I might want to ring Ollie at lunchtime and see if he wants me to pick him up.
No, I absolutely support this. It seems ludicrous. OK, there may be an argument that children need analogue mobile phone, i.e. they can text mummy on the way to school or on the way back for safety.
Yeah.
But I think every single school, you should hand your phone in as you walk into the school gate, and you get it back at the end of the day, if you need a phone at all. I don't understand why young children, even children up to the age of 10, 15, need mobile phones. I really, really don't.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, maybe they have a little text thing that they can contact their parents if they need to. The idea that you give the phone back at break. No, break time is about playing. It's about going to the lavatory, having your snack, talking to your friends, taking a breath. It's not about plunging back into the internet, doing all that. And I'm not in denial. I know that we're all online, but that's the point. We're all addicted. They will have the rest of their lives to be addicted to smartphones. Let's give them, up to the age of 16, no phones.
I agree. I would go further than just banning them in schools, Bushra. I would ban smartphones for young people until the age of about 15.
Oh, really?
I would go, and I'm not a big fan of banning anything, but I think in terms of what it's doing to their attention span, to the fact that they can... We all know...
Communication, interaction with other people.
We had... I'm planning a Halloween party for my kids in October. Now, last year, all these kids in my front room, 15 or so of these teenagers, all sat round on the sofa, all looking at their phones. I went round with the trick-or-treat Halloween buckets and I confiscated all the phones.
And they started to enjoy themselves.
And do you know what they did? They spoke to each other.
Yeah.
They went and ran around in the garden. It was a warm night. They interacted. The lack of connection and development that we are inflicting upon these children by allowing them to have smartphones is profound.
Yes, and I think it's important for parents to know, to instill that kind of balance in their children, you see, because I'm also not about banning mobile phones entirely. We've got a different tech generation. Children need to know how to use these things in a productive way as well. I have an older son that uses technology brilliantly, makes money from it. So I don't want to take something away from them totally. Emma, your point about the schools, though, is they're actually spending more time on their mobile phones at home than they are at school at the moment, because my children hand their phones in. They do get it at break time. Maybe that's something that can change.
Yeah.
But it's actually at home that they're spending a lot of these, you know, their mobile phones and
Which
devices.
is why I kind of support, you know, a ban until they... I think they should become antisocial.
Do you know what is incredible?
Although we've got to go back to Andrew, but of course, when I said I'd have a Halloween party this year for my kids, they said, we don't want it if you're going to nick everyone's phones, Mummy. It was so embarrassing. So I was like, well, tough.